Hi comrades, yours Kayveeyes. The next class for the Postal Assistant examination is going to be presented in this episode. Please go through the video minutely, again and again, and prepare yourself for the examination in a neat and effective manner.
Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous session, we discussed about up to class 89 in PO Guide Part 1, and in this class we'll commence from clause 90. The clause 90 is about how to the liability to detention of certain mails. And clause 89 we have discussed up to how to treat the articles of a deceased person. In this clause we are going to discuss about the liability to detention of certain mails. In case where there is a delay in dispatch or delivery, the books, patents, or any sample packets or parcels, the same may be held back in the office of posting for a period not exceeding 1 day. This is practically not feasible, but this is there in the rule. So take note of the same. So in case if there is any due to any problem, if the parcels or delayed for dispatch, the same may be detained in the office of posting for a period not exceeding 1 day. These articles accepting parcels may also be held over till the next delivery in the office of delivery also. So except for parcel, we can also detain the same until the next delivery in the office of delivery also, not exceeding 1 day. The next clause 91, is about the facilities being provided by to the village postman in rural areas. So what are all the facilities to a village postman in a rural area? So a village postman, he or she can carry a small stock of postage stamp and stationery. A small value, they can carry a small stock of stamps and stationeries. And also he or she should carry a stock of the commonly required postal forms like acknowledgement cards, like that. What are all the common forms like AOF, like that? He must carry some commonly required postal forms required for the public. And also the village postman are authorized to book registered letters. In previous, when there is a book concept to registered letters, in that time even the village postman is authorized to book registered letters in that case. So these three are the facilities provided to the village postman. And next thing, clause 92 is about issue of post office forms. So all the post offices will issue only reasonable requirements of forms actually needed for the immediate postal transaction in their particular office. So usually forms of acknowledgement for registered articles are supplied in books of 15 number at a nominal price. Now the current price is for about ₹3. So generally acknowledgement will be bundled or 50 forms, and it will be sold at a nominal price, and other forms which is immediately required for postal transaction will be supplied by the respective post offices. So this is clause 92. And the next clause is services which cannot be unclaimed. So any post offices, the officials are absolutely forbidden to affix stamps to letters or any other articles brought to post offices. So, and also they are not bound to give any change or to weigh for the public or letters or any other articles except registered articles and articles for surcharge for airmail service. So they are not bound to give change or even weigh for the public. So only the accountable articles will be made and charges will be obtained from them accordingly. Other articles, we are not bound to weigh or anything else. So these are the services which cannot be claimed from the post office officials at the post office premises. And then clause 94 is about acceptance of check. So check will normally be accepted from the public for any postal transactions, and the amount of each check should not exceed ₹20. This is earlier rule. So the minimal value is there. So the amount of check should not be less than 20. The postmen are not authorized to accept checks, and this will be accepted only at the counters at the post office premises. And the post office accepts also will not deliver VP parcels or letters charged with customs duty until the check or pay order is clear. So only after the check clearance, those things will be delivered to the concerned addressees. So it is intended to accept the checks, but not through the postman. So this is what the important point. And the clause 95 is about the latest date for payment of dues. So when the last date of payment of any postal transactions falls on Sunday or the post office holiday, the next working day shall be taken as the last day for such transactions. This is not in case of POSB transactions, but rules are there. So whenever a last day for payment of any postal falls on Sunday or post office holiday, the next working day shall also be taken as last day for doing such transactions. Very important point in PO guide. We are going to discuss about the mail services being offered by department, what are all the class of articles, and we are going to discuss each and every class of inland article in detail. So when coming to the mail services, there are two kinds of mails. One is domestic mails, inland mails, and international mails. So initially we are going to discuss about this inland or domestic mails. Basically, there are 10 class of articles in the department. This is in postal department. There are in the domestic articles can be classified in these 10 classes of articles are there in the inland mails. So those 10 are the letters, inland letter card or simply letter card, the postcard, book packets, sample and pattern packets, the book packets containing printed books, book packets containing periodicals, registered newspaper, blind literature packets, and also parcels. In this 10 classes of articles, the first 9 articles except parcels, we call it as the letter category. It will come under the category of letter, whereas parcels will come under the parcel category. So the first 9 will come under the letter category, and the last one, the final one, parcel, will come under the parcel category. There are furthermore classification. These 10 class of articles can be further classified into two, that is the first class mails and the second class mails. Among these 10, the first 3, that is the letters, letter card or inland letter card, and the postcard are called as first class mails, and the other remaining articles we call it as second class mail. What is the difference between these first class and second class? The first class mails will usually be given free air transmission wherever possible and advantageous, whereas second class mails will not be offered with any free air transmission. So the sender has to pay the additional air surcharge in addition to the normal postage if the article is desired to be sent by air. So generally, first class will be sent by air, free air transmission will be given wherever possible, whereas second class mails will usually be routed through the surface route, and only the sender pays the additional air surcharge in addition to the normal postage. These second class articles will also be sent by air. What is that air surcharge? The air surcharge will be charged at the nominal rate of, that is up to 50 grams in weight, rupees 2 will be charged for as an air surcharge, and for every additional 50 grams or part thereof, rupees 1 will be charged as air surcharge. So up to 50 grams, rupees 2, and additional 50 grams, rupees 1. In these 10 classes, registered newspapers, however, it is a second class, but however, they are treated as in sorting, as in-class mail. They will be treated as in-class mail, but no airlift is allowed unless they bear required air surcharge. So among the 10, first 3 are first class, the rest of 7 are second class, and registered newspaper will be classified as in-class mail. But even to that registered newspaper, no free airlift will be allowed unless they bear the required surcharges. So this is important. Now we'll discuss each and every inland articles in detail. So we'll begin with letters. What is a letter? A letter is usually used for communication and for sending any documents. Both written and printed communication and documents can be sent in letters. There are basically 2 types of letters. One is departmental and the other is private. So whatever the content being sent in embossed envelope, it is we call it as departmental letters, and the other covers which has been used in private by general public, we call it as private letters. The maximum weight of a letter is 2 kgs. So we can send letter up to maximum of 2 kgs, and the tariff of the same is, for the first 20 grams the charge is rupees 5, and for every additional 20 grams and the part thereof, is rupees 5. For example, if a letter is weighing 25 grams, so for the first 50 grams, it is 5. And we have only 5 grams in addition, but it will designate an unit. So even if it is 5 grams, it will constitute an unit and one more 5 rupees. And so for 25 grams, the charge will be rupees 10. Likewise, for first 20 grams, we'll be charging rupees 5. And for every additional 20 grams or even a part thereof, we'll be charging an addition of rupees 5. Now, what are all the features of postal articles? So, whenever you read for the exam, please try to by heart these things also. Generally, these dimensions and prescribed size will be of two forms. One is for roll form, that is for cylindrical form, and one is for other than roll form. So, in this case, as you see in the screen, there is a prescribed size for letters in roll form. There is minimum maximum dimensions, and also the articles which are in other than roll form will be having minimum and maximum dimensions. So these should be taken care of. And also in other than roll form, the envelopes can be in the following sizes. With a tolerance of plus or minus 2 millimeter, we can have letters in these 12 dimensions. We can have letters, but the maximum weight should be within 2 kilograms. This is important point. And in this, we have some other important points to be discussed, that is the articles enclosed in transparent envelopes. How to deal a letter which is enclosed in transparent envelopes. Generally, the articles should be sent in envelopes which are wholly transparent, will not be transmitted by post. So, fully transparent covers is strictly prohibited. Whereas, there can be a transparent panel parallel to the greatest dimension, that is parallel to the length of the letter, and through these transparent panel, address must be clearly readable through. Address must be clearly readable through the panel, and no other communication should be visible through the panel so as to affect the clarity of the address. So purely transparent articles are strictly prohibited, but there can be a transparent panel parallel to the greatest length dimensions, and only the transparent panel should show only the clear address of the addressee, and no other contents or communication should be visible through that transparent panel. This is also one another important point. And how to deal the unpaid or insufficiently paid letters. We are going to discuss in future about the taxation in detail, but we can discuss this in side by side. So whenever we get an unpaid or insufficiently paid letters for delivery, how to treat it? So generally, a letter posted unpaid is charged with double the deficiency, as you all know, double the postage, and insufficiently paid will be charged on double the deficiency. So any unpaid letters with or without covers must be securely closed by the senders, and any such letters posted in open condition or insecurely closed by the post office being forwarded to their destination. So any rules contravening the above provisions is found during the course of transmission, it will generally be written to the sender. Generally, for all classes of articles, any unpaid or insufficiently paid will be charged with double the deficiency. So this is what the important point. Then articles including open panel envelopes. So as in case of transparent envelopes, the open panel envelopes will also be dealt with same. So generally, the open panel, it has been designated that it must not exceed 10 centimeter in length and 3.5 centimeter in breadth. So the panel must generally be extended parallel to the length of the envelope, as we seen in the transparent envelope. A minimum space of 1.5 centimeter must be left above the panel in order to paste the postage stamp. The space must be given for pasting the postage stamp. So no other writing or printing or any other thing other than address must be visible through the panel. The same in case of the same transparent panel also. So what are the conditions, other conditions for posting the letters? All the envelopes must have a flap either at the top or back of the longer side, or at right or left. It should have a flap to cover and post. So the envelope should be continuously closed on all the sides, and no metal clips, no staples should not be used for closing the envelope. Only the glue or the gummed label should be used, and envelopes should be made of minimum 70 GSM thickness in order to bear the stamp impression and all. and each and every letter must be flexible enough to bend into a new shape. It should not be rigid, it should be flexible enough to bend into U shape. So this is all about letter. So please do not forget to by heart and keep in mind the maximum weight, the postage, and also the conditions. Now we are moving on to the next class of inland article, that is we can call it as inland letter card or the letter card. So generally inland letter card, it as the name suggests, it can be used only within India. So inland letter card, so it can be used only within India, and this should be used generally we use for personal communication, but nowadays it is being used even for the official like official and business correspondence was also being shared in the ILCs. And the main thing, the main point to be remembered in inland letter code is that it should not contain any enclosures. No other enclosure should be allowed in the inside the inland letter card. And in case of private ILC, a superscription should be there, like that inland letter card should be printed upon the private ILC card. As the letter, even the letter card or inland letter card is also of two types. One is departmental, the one which is being sold in the post office, and also we can have the private ILC being printed by the corresponding institutions, conforming to the size and thickness of our letter card. And the maximum weight of ILC is 5 grams, and the postage is rupees 2.502 rupees and 50 paise. The maximum weight should be of only 5 grams. So this is the prescribed size of ILC. So the private ILC, those who are printing private ILC should conform this to this minimum and maximum length. So the size, prescribed size is just of in detail. So when it is unfolded, and how the flap should be, and when it is folded, what should be the dimensions, everything is being described in detail in this size. So now let us see about the letter card taxation. As we all know, for insufficiently prepaid, double the prepaid rate will be collected. And if a letter card, if it is posted by breach of conditions, by infringing any of these conditions, it will be taxed as letter, and double the deficiency will be charged from that letter card. So this is about the articles which are breaching the conditions. Next one, the third articles we are going to see is about the postcard. As we all know, postcard can be used for transmission within India, and it is one of the cheapest and economical way of communication to the general public. In the postcard, there is no secrecy. It is an open communication, so there will be no secrecy of contents in the postcard. So there are two types of postcards, that is departmental and private. The departmental is the one which we sold across the post office premises, and there will be private postcard also. In postcard, we also have a facility of reply postcard. Two postcards will be there. So the concerned addressee will take one of the postcard and will write the reply and then send the same back. And competition postcards are also used for any media competitions, but now it is not being sold across the counters. And the postcard will be treated as printed postcard if the content seems to be printed, or any kind of mechanical process is being there, will be treated as printed postcard. So printed postcard, printed matters which includes pictures, containing pictures also. If any general postcard other than written communication, if we find any printed matters in that, it will be treated as printed postcard. Any kind of mechanical process, any kind of cyclostyling like that, creating multiple copies, will be treated as printed postcard. Next one, we'll see about the tariff. There are actually 5 kinds of postcards. One is single postcard, 50 paise. The reply postcard, there will be 2 postcards, so it is 1 rupee. The printed postcard, in which we can do printed contents, we can write, that is of 6 rupees. Meghdut postcard, the postcard which contains advertisement to the left of the address portion, that is we call it as Meghdut postcard. And the competition postcard, rupees 10. So these are the 5 types of postcard and its tariff. So what is the size of a postcard? What is the prescribed size? Very simple. The length and breadth should be of 14 by 9. So 14 centimeters cross 9 centimeters is the prescribed length and breadth of a postal articles. So privately manufactured postcard should conform to this size, and also the thickness of our embossed postcard. This is about all the postcards. Then, what are all the special some rules available for the postcard. A postcard, it should not be folded. It should not be folded. It should be transmitted as in way as we see the postcard. It should not be cut or altered. And the right hand half of the address side is reserved only for the address or postage or any stamp impression. We should not write anything in that address side. And superscriptions like we have discussed earlier in post restant to await arrival and to be kept called for on post restant articles are also permissible for postcards. And nothing may be attached to the postcard except for stamps and a gummed label. We can also paste a gummed label for the addressee not exceeding 5 centimeter bar 1.8 centimeter in width only for address purposes. And any kind of engravings in very thin paper which is fully adherent to the card may be allowed. So another postcard in case of reply postcard should be stitched and securely attached along with the postcard. So these are all some additional points which has to be learned in case of postcard facility. And what will be the penalty for breach of conditions in postcard? A postcard insufficiently paid shall be taxed as usual double the deficiency, and reply postcard will be taxed for on the original half. So in case of reply postcard, for the original half only the taxation will be applied because the another half is to be replied by that addressee. So only for the original half the taxation will apply. And for any kind of infringement of any breach of conditions, it will be treated as a letter and a single deficiency will be obtained from the customer. For other cases, for the rest of previous two cases, we saw double the deficiency. For this case, in case of any other breach of conditions, it will be treated as letter and single deficiency will be obtained from the customer. So this is about penalty for breach of conditions. Now we can see some of the cases in connected with this postcard. What is a quick mail service? As the name suggests, quick mail service is available in popular cities and towns and between the state capitals and important towns in order to facilitate the transmission of ordinary mails even more quicker. So normally the first class mails are airlifted in this quick mail service without any extra charge. But this quick mail service, there will be a designated separate post box for a quick mail service, and the article posted in this quick mail service should conform to some conditions. That is, the articles must be a complete postal index number. That is, the PIN code and the office of delivery should clearly be mentioned in that letter, and the article should be posted in that special letter box intended for QMS, and the article should be fully prepaid. If any conditions is found to be breached, this conditions is found to be breached, then there will be detained. The same will be detained, and it will be transmitted as a normal regular article. So this QMS articles is generally designed to get the articles even more quicker. So this is QMS supply, QMS, that is a service. And the next service we are going to discuss is about the business reply service. That is, any person or an organization, a person who wishes to obtain a reply but without paying any postage by the sender can avail this service, this facility. So any person, he can get a reply but without any paying postage charges. So these kind of supply is called as business reply service. So such a card, a letter card or envelope or any label, it can be, the client can post the same in any post box or any offices in an ordinary manner but without paying any kind of postage. So instead of that, this sender, that is the party who has got this reply service, will pay the usual postage charges that is applicable to that particular postage plus rupees 1. So if it is a letter, for example, say if it is a letter of 15 grams, generally the postage is rupees 5. But this organization, those who have got this business reply service will pay 5 plus 1. So rupees 6 will be paid by that concerned institution or the individual for each article. So these kind of postage plus rupees 1 will be collected as a amount for this business reply service. So what will this do? Normally, from whom this business reply service should be got? So permission to obtain the same should be obtained from the head of the divisions. So applications along with complete proofs should be forwarded by the postmaster. And what is the fee? What is the fee for such business replacer to enjoy the service? So for the first quarter, if the business reply service is being requested in the first quarter, that is from 1st April to June, then the charge is rupees 200. If it is being requested in the second quarter, that is from July to September, 1 rupees 150. Third quarter means rupees 100, and if he enters into the service for fourth quarter means 50. So initially, depending upon the quarter in which he enters into the service, the charge will be collected accordingly. And after this, on the subsequent years, rupees 200 will be charged for the customer to avail this business reply service. So each and every permit shall remain in force up to 31st March, and it will be renewed in March every year for a period of 1 more year by paying an addition of rupees 200 rupees. The permit shall be cancelled if there is any default. So what will he do? He'll pay this concerned amount, 200 or 150 or something. And along with this, the person who avails this service will pay an advance amount. He will credit an advance amount to the post office. Post office, on receiving each and every article, will deduct the particular amount from this advance, and whenever the advance comes low, the postmaster will ask the individual to recharge the same, to bring back the advance to that particular amount, and then the same procedure will continue. So this is what business reply service, that is, the client can send postage without paying any charge. The charge will be beared by the sender, and in addition to that, 1 rupees will also be charged in extra to that postage. This is what about business reply service. In addition to these two services, there is one recent facility has been introduced by Department of Post, that is magazine post. Though you may think that this is not relative to PO Guide Part 1, but this kind of post, we expect this kind of questions in this year examination. So I will discuss about this. What is this magazine post? So all the magazines posted under this kind of magazine post will have, what are the facilities? End-to-end tracking facility. So this magazine post is dedicated only for magazines. So this magazine post, the articles posted will have tracking facility, end-to-end tracking facility. SMS alert also will have to the subscribers will be made available. So they will get SMS alert when the magazine is being posted and received for delivery. And each and every magazine publisher will be provided with a separate barcode series, which needs to be printed on the envelope of magazines to make it easier. And delivery under magazine post will be address specific, not addressee specific, it is address specific. So book now, pay later, BNPL and advance payment facility will also be extended under magazine post. So this is the tariff for availing magazine post. So for magazines to be delivered outside the municipal area means up to 200 grams, the tariff is rupees 12, and for every additional 100 grams or part, rupees 3. And for magazines to be delivered within the municipal area of the posting location, within the area municipal area of the posting location, up to 200 rupees or 200 grams, it is rupees 8, and for every additional 100 grams or a part, it is rupees 3. So this is inclusive of GST, and this is not exclusive. And these 1283 rupees are all inclusive of the GST. So this is what magazine post. Now, by this, we have come to the end of the first class mails articles, the domestic articles, that is the letter, the inland card or the letter card, and the postcard. Now, we are going to look after about the second class. We are coming to the second class articles. In that way, we are going now to discuss about the book packets. So, what is a book packet? Book packets, what are all the articles which can be included and sent through these book packet facility? So, in short, generally, printed matters can be sent through the book packet. I repeat, generally, the printed items, what are all the printed contents that can be sent as book packets, and no written communication should be there. Actually, postcard and book packets are entirely different, inversely proportional. In postcard, we can send only written communication except for printed postcard, whereas in book packets, only printed contents are allowed, and no other written communication is allowed in this book packets. So in this book packets, Subscription is optional. Subscription as book packet is completely optional, and book packet should not be closed. The cover should not be pasted or closed in order to facilitate the inspection. So the inspecting authorities can at any time, at any point, they can open and see that whether only printed contents are there and there is no leakage of revenue. And this book packets is economical than letter. The tariff is much more less than the letter, and no personal communication should be there in the book packets except in case of invitations and greeting cards where only 5 words of complimentary nature, or only five words of complimentary nature, like greeting anyone, like to end up the invitations, like such case we can use 5 words of complimentary nature or allowed in invitations and greeting cards, and no other personal communications is allowed in this book packets. And the maximum weight for a book packet is 5 kgs, and the tariff is up to 50 grams. The tariff is rupees 4, and for every additional 50 grams, the tariff is rupees 3. So for 50 up to 50 grams 4, and additional 50 or part, the tariff is rupees 3. So the dimensions now can look about the dimensions of a book packet. So these are the size prescribed for the book packet for roll form and other than roll form. So this is about the book packets, and no kind of personal communication or anything is strictly prohibited in these kind of articles. So by this, we can end up this session with this book packets, and in the next class, we'll discuss about the other second class articles starting from the sample and pattern packets. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Comrades, I hope you would have enjoyed this program. What are all the organization and what are all the rulings provided in the guide? You have gone through everything. Please go through once again. It is in the YouTube channel only, yours Kayveeyes YouTube channel only. You can go through once again. You read well again and again so that everything you can grasp very easily and you can write the examination very effectively. Please don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel yours Kayveeyes. If you subscribe this channel, naturally you will get the notification as and when we are making the posting, fresh posting, not only for the classes but also the latest developments taken place in the department and also the orders and everything. You will definitely be benefited, and so don't fail to subscribe the YouTube channel. With this we are concluding. We will see again. Thank you very much. Meet again, comrades. Yours Kayveeyes.